Good morning, everybody. Derrick from the Franklin Institute Science Museum. I'm the Chief Astronomer, Planetarium Programs Director there. How many of you know the Franklin Institute? Fabulous. Okay. If you don't know the Franklin Institute is a hands-on science museum like many other hands-on science museums you know, except it's 199 years old. Yeah, right. Next year is our 200th anniversary. And we've conveniently arranged this solar eclipse to celebrate our 200th year. Happy to do it for you. Thank you very much. Okay, so Franklin Institute has been doing astronomy viewing for the general public for a long time, like many places do. But the Franklin Institute building, where we are right now on the Parkway in Philadelphia, opened in 1934. And in 1934, when we opened, we were the second planetarium in the United States. We were also one of the few buildings in the United States or facilities that actually had a working observatory for the general public to observe. So on the fourth floor of the building, it houses a 25 centimeter Zeiss refractor that works really fabulously. And we use it primarily for solar observing. So for our visiting audiences that are there during the daytime primarily, we provide an opportunity for people to look at the sun and have been doing that since 1934. We burned a lot of eyeballs since then. No, just kidding. We use really, really good solar filters to give people an opportunity to see what our nearby star looks like up close. And so we've been doing this for a long time. The observatory is a great facility, but it's small. So when it comes to eclipses and big events like this, sometimes it can be a big challenge for us to host a lot of people. It's like this. And I really specialize in creating large events, astronomy events for people to participate in, but we can't do it inside the building. Now, if we connect that with how the Franklin Institute works with our surrounding community, it actually turns out that our community connections work out really, really well for us. So we have lots of science engagement programs spread around the city, spread around the state, spread around the region, spread around the country. Lots of national partnership programs with organizations with whom we can actually do things, because if we don't have room in the building, we can engage our audiences in that way. So while we're all thinking about, there we go. While we're all thinking about doing this kind of thing, orientation, training, and preparation for our programming in our buildings or near our buildings and things like that, which we certainly did in 2017, by the way, as I prepared my museum to engage with the 2017 total solar eclipse. They thought that perhaps the audience that day at the Franklin Institute, the most visited museum in the state of Pennsylvania, they thought that perhaps maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people might show up. 10,000 people showed up, right? So they were not prepared, even though I had warned them extensively of what to expect. They still thought it was going to turn out differently. So while we were doing all this kind of preparation these days for that kind of engagement, I have another route to suggest, something that works really well for us, particularly since we are off the path of totality for both eclipses. We still have a responsibility to our community to make sure they know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how to engage with it. So while we're thinking about, whoops, let me go back. While we're thinking about, I'm still getting the wrong, how do I do that? Can you go back to the beginning for me, please? Thank you very much. It's been very nice. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the right button. Here it is. I'm not going to press a thing. I'm going to wait. There we go, right there. Thank you. So while we are all thinking about doing that kind of stuff at our locations, I'm going to suggest a more distributed model. And the reason why is because there are lots of other partners, potential partners in your community that will want to do something that day because they are already in place. And their particular audience, their employees, for example, can't go somewhere else. So while you announce this eclipse to your community and your engagement partners, don't forget your corporate and business partners. And here's what I mean. You have a great opportunity to create partnerships with them around this event by offering to help them understand what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to affect them. And on top of that, you can also offer your partner trainings to host observing events at their locations. So if you have a situation where you have a corporate partner, like we have corporate partners for support, that are going to be in operation that day and their employees can't go anywhere, you still want to help them provide a good experience for their employees. You know how a lot of businesses have bring your child to work day? Well, here is bring an eclipse to your employees day. And in this way, you can help them provide a really good, authentic science experience for their employees right where they are. The experience is not going to take all day, and people there will want to go out. So why not help them do that? So what that can do for them, you can help them assemble the materials that are needed for audience activities. You can help them figure out how to engage with their employees around this. And you can also build up connections with them. Not to mention, there's this piece down here about media engagement. Of course, they will love to have an opportunity to let the public know through the media what they've done to support this event, to allow their employees to support this event. So you can help them with that. Okay, I'm going to try the advance button. It went backwards the way I wanted. Am I holding it upside down? The little bump. Wait a minute. Hey, it's upside down. Okay, there we go. So this is a great way to share the experience more broadly. And one of the most important things it does that I consider when I think about what's going to happen at the Franklin Institute, which of course is the natural gathering place for people for an event like this, because they know us so well for astronomy events. Well, one thing it does is it distributes the load of viewers from our location. We only have so many bathrooms, right? And we only have so much space in which we can bring people, and we only have so many resources to share. So this does a number of really cool things. It allows the local businesses and corporate partners to provide viewing opportunities for their employees in situations where they can't leave, including hospitals, schools, daycare centers, etc. It also allows decentralization of the science experience. Science happens everywhere. The eclipse is going to be visible from all these places where the sky is clear. So why not reinforce the idea that you don't have to go to the big building downtown? We do a lot of this kind of stuff at Franklin because we need people to understand that science happens right where they are, and they can be science investigators right where they are without special equipment. So often we get from people the sense that they don't engage in science activities because they need something special, or they need a guide, they need all these other kinds of things. Well, we can help sort of like take away those barriers by this kind of decentralization of this experience. Again, as I said, it distributes the load of viewers from your location, but it also potentially builds up partnerships for future science events. So for example, one of the things I know that's going to happen for us in Philly is that some of the corporate partners to whom I'm going to offer this opportunity to receive training for how to do this, well, somebody's going to hit them up for some bucks, right? So this is a way to build that kind of connection as well. So it's just another alternative possibility for something you can do to engage more of the community. And at the same time, if I am building partnerships between the amateur astronomers and the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts and other astronomy enthusiasts that are going to work with us, the Franklin Institute, to help people in the Delaware Valley engage with this experience, well, in building those partnerships, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to be linking these people together for partnership building and folding them into this big experience of feeling like we're all in it together and we're all doing things together. And in that way, there may also be ambassadors that can go from the Franklin Institute out to some of these locations to help people, not just before the event, but maybe there's a way for a connection to happen where they could be there at the event too. So all of this is about building partnership and connection through your organization as the leader of all this stuff. And in that way, you're also building bridges for future events as well. Okay, let's see if I got the button right here. Great. So this is out on the Parkway at the Franklin Institute, which is where we can see some of the 10,000 people there. This is a small portion of the space, but as you can see, there's not one bathroom in sight. So the distributed experience helps to take care of some of the load on your resources where you are. Okay, that's it for this. Thanks, folks. If you have any questions. The tents? What tents? Oh, those tents. Right, okay, so you'll see this picture, and I'll talk about this again later, but the tent thing here, if you'll notice right in the center portion of the picture here, there's maybe a laser pointer here, but you'll see the silver tent things there. I went to observe the 2017 eclipse at St. Joseph, Missouri for the past 60 years. St. Joseph, Missouri on August 21st was cloud-free. August 21st of 2017? Yeah, you bet, right, exactly. So I was out at St. Joseph, but what I had done is I'd prepared everything to happen at the Franklin Institute. We had a very large team that could work with us. I had 35 sun spotters, a bunch of telescopes, some sun guns, all kinds of stuff available. I'd already handed out 10,000 solar eclipse viewers around the city through community centers, which I'll talk about later. And we did all this stuff to prepare everybody. But I also realized as we were getting close to the time of to the date of the eclipse, that perhaps I might need some extra solar viewing material. So just by chance, I bought some rolls of material from Thousand Oaks Optical. And the solar material I bought was the black polymer viewing material. And I thought, well, I can do something with it because the price of the rolls was cheaper than the glasses. So I thought, I'll just buy some of this and maybe I'll think of something to do with it. Lo and behold, I thought of something. I thought of, why not make a solar eclipse observing tent? The tent is actually made of the frames that come with outdoor canopies. If you have some sort of outdoor event and you have the folding canopy thing with the vinyl top and the metal framing. So I got a few of those. I took the vinyl top off and instead fit the black polymer material across the top. Now, what it did was it provided an opportunity for many people to observe at once. This was to mitigate the issue of, I don't have enough individual hand viewers to go around. So if I do it this way, I can fit maybe 20 people under a tent. Wow, that's great. 20 people can see at once. But it also did something else. It made observing a group experience. So you could turn and talk, and you could share with somebody else with you. You could point and all sorts of things like that. And the other cool thing was I found that people who were in wheelchairs could easily roll underneath and look up. Somebody could sit and look up. All kinds of really cool things happened from that. So that's how the tent came about. It's really simple. It's just the black polymer from Thousand Oaks and these frames that you can buy online at Amazon. And I just had my crew tape it to the top of the frame. This year, I'm having our carpentry department make frames for this stuff, okay? And as soon as I get the design for the frames, I'll be happy to distribute that so everybody else can use it as well. It's very simple and straightforward. So that's it. Well, if you have more questions later, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.